So guys, today back from a video on the channel. Today we have the Newcastle United versus Manchester City preview for our first game of the Carabao Cup for the 2023-24 season. Going to be a very interesting game. Obviously, as we all know, what happened on the weekend with Newcastle and Man City. It's going to be a very interesting one in the Carabao Cup. Obviously, Newcastle shouldn't have got them Man City because of the draw being wrong, but it is what it is. We've got City on Wednesday, a massive game, 8 o'clock kickoff I'm sure at St James's Park. It's going to be an absolutely belter one. Back in the Carabao Cup, we went on an unreal run last season. Can we carry it on this season? Make sure to leave a like, boys, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into the video now. So then, Manchester City, obviously we have played them this season, and it was actually my first away game going to the Etihad Stadium, but this time it is at St James's Park. Man City, when up the Etihad, when I watched them, it was Newcastle couldn't really get going in that game, but City really were dominant in that game. They really controlled the game and whatnot, but they made a couple of signings since then, and both of them started against Nottingham Forest, and both of them look very good. Matheus Nunes from Wolves, he looks like a very good player. Obviously was very good at Wolves last season, probably deserved to move away from Wolves after how good he was, and doesn't deserve to play for a team that's getting in a relegation battle. And then Doku, I don't know why Newcastle didn't look for him. Obviously he was quite a bit of money, I think it was 60 odd million, but he's looked absolutely immense, like absolutely unbelievable. He's like 10 times better than the maximum at Newcastle when we first signed him. He looks absolutely ridiculous on the ball, and that's something you've got to watch out for. And if it's Dan Burn versus Doku, I know Dan Burn's had a quite good season. I still don't get why fans are slating him. Doku against Dan Burn is one of the ones where you think, oh fucking hell, do you know what I mean? It's a bit scary, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. We'll have a look at their team that played Nottingham Forest, and as well, Man City have actually not lost a game this season in the Premier League. The only one they've lost is to Arsenal in the Community Shield on penalties. The last time they lost a league game was the last game of the season last season against Brentford, but their team that started against Nottingham Forest, it was Edison in goal, Kyle Walker, Akanji Diaz, Gavardia left back, Nunes, a big one as well, Rodri, I don't know if he'll be suspended for this game or if it's in the Premier League, honestly I don't know. It just says he's suspended for one game. I'm not sure if it goes into the cup or not. It should, because of what happened with Nick Pope last year. He should be suspended if Nick Pope missing the final. Rodri should miss this game versus Newcastle. Phil Foden, who got man of the match as well. Alvarez, Doku and Haaland. I think I can't really see much changes happening to that team. I can see them maybe bringing in goalkeeper, what's he called, Ortega, because he played a lot of the cup last season. I can see a couple of changes, maybe like Calvin Phillips, he had a good game. Players like Grealish, Ake, but nothing absolutely crazy. Obviously they've got a couple of injuries out as well. Obviously De Bruyne's out, which he will 100% miss the game. They've got Kovacic, who's a doubt I thought was really good against Newcastle at the Etihad. Bernardo Silva will probably be out, and John Stones is a bit of a tricky one. We don't know if he will be fit yet. It's a tough one to call. It is obviously Newcastle in the Etihad. Man City at St James's Park sometimes struggled over the years. Obviously last season it was a 3-3. The season before we got beat 4-0. But before then we used to always give Man City a good game, apart from that 4-0 defeat where it was Eddie Howe's second game at St James's Park. But honestly, anything can happen in the cup. We seen last season we done very well in the cup, and it was the only cup where Man City didn't win. So it is a tough one to call. It really is. Obviously, I don't know how many changes City will make, because who have City actually got on the weekend? They have got Wolves away. I don't know what stadium they've struggled at over the years, where they've got to give them a bit of a game to get a result. But obviously Champions League next week as well, same with Newcastle. I can see him making a couple of changes, but I think if Man City win this game with making a couple of changes, I think that's sorted for every competition in England at the minute, and even the Champions League. They're looking very good, aren't they? But let's speak about the two, and then let's speak about what happened last night. So then, obviously I'm recording this on Monday morning. I am a bit hanging, boys. As you know, I was out on the piss last night, and seeing Newcastle score 8 with 8 different scorers meant I was on the piss for even longer and even more. But unbelievable last night. It really was. 8-0. Unbelievable, and honestly the team is going to be such a tough one to call. We've got 3 home games on the bounce now. We've got obviously Man City, Burnley, and then PSG. Such a all at home, such a tight run of games. So I can definitely see some changes getting made potentially for this game. But I feel like even for that Burnley game at home, I think if you go for it against City, you've got to make them changes, because considering we've got PSG on Wednesday, it's a game where where we've just got to keep going. It's such a tough one to call, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with the tune. That 8-0 win as well, I think, I wouldn't say we needed the 8-0 win, we needed to win that game against Sheffield United, up to 8th in the table, which is nice. Obviously, and it's a little bit of a distraction from the Premier League getting this cup, and honestly, I think if we can win this game, we can do quite well like last season, but it's such a tough one to call. Obviously, City are a very, very good team and whatnot. You know, obviously over the years we've struggled against them at the Etihad, but never really got a couple of wins there and there at St James. But it's a tough one to call. It is, honestly. I don't even know what he's going to do. I don't know if he will make a lot of changes for the cup, or if Eddie Howe really wants to go for it. It's a really tough one to call. You kind of sit here and say anything. But obviously, vlogging that will be out on the channel like normal on Wednesday. Obviously, like last week, I'm in night shift this week as well, but I've put a holiday in Graft, so I will be going to the game, so don't you worry about that, boys. Obviously, I start work later on tonight and whatnot, but yeah, tough one to call. Can Newcastle United do it? Let's hope so. Obviously, the predicted team will be out tomorrow. Obviously, I don't want to say too much on the team, but that is going to be the end of the preview. If I've got to give a prediction, I'm going to go... Ooh, it's a tough one to call. It is. Let's just... I'm not going to say a score. All I'm going to say, it's going to go to penalties. And I would love that. But every time there's a penalty shootout, it's always on the other side. It's always on that other side. From the Gallagher, which is shit. I hope it's at our side, but penalty shootout with St James's, let's hope so. Make sure to leave a like, boys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you all predicting tomorrow and the preview. And the vlog on Wednesday. Have a good one, boys. See you later.